and today we've taken a lot of time to talk to the girls, but I wanted to give you free reign to go after the guys. Like from a woman's perspective, what does male modesty look like? Because I don't know about you, I've never heard a homily on male modesty. Because we've reduced modesty to clothing, so a lot of guys think, okay, I got jeans, I got a shirt, we're good to go. I've often said, like, I wouldn't even know how to dress immodestly if I wanted to. Like, if I wanted to seduce a woman, I don't know what I'd put on. Like, would I wear like a cowboy hat or like be a fireman? Like I don't even know where I'd begin. So that's just because we've reduced it to clothing. But what does male modesty look like to a woman? And in terms of clothing and anything else, what does that look like from a woman's perspective, male modesty?
Yeah, Jason, I love your talks on male modesty. I remember listening to you so many times, being on the road with you talking, and you you would always give the example really quick of that. How would you phrase it? It was something about the male shin. Do you remember this?
Just that how girls don't get distracted like looking at guys' kneecaps or legs in class or hairy legs.
I have used that example so many times over the years. It's one of my favorites. I don't know, but for me, I would die laughing. I'd be cracking up in your presentation. Like, that's so funny because it's so true. But there is modesty obviously involved with men too, because again, it's a virtue. So it's a virtue. We're humans. We were made to practice these virtues. We are drawn naturally to virtue, even though it's hard. And so for men, ways that you can practice virtue, let's just talk about your dress. So there's a time and a place for all types of fashion, right? Your t-shirt and your jeans are great. Please keep them over your butt. Like just wear the jeans over your butt. Can you just wear jeans the normal way? Can you wear pants the normal way? It's just snap. So I would say that.
Yeah, it's
like,
not
let's
that
just
that's
say
an
it.
occasion of sin for women. It's just like,
No,
we
but
don't need
that's
that.
just
Yeah.
that like that's not the function of the jean.
Yeah.
So just wear the jeans. Like just wear the pants as pants.
Buy a belt.
Right. So there's that, but there's also like time and place for like that's fine for hanging out and just normal day to day. But I love when I see men practice modesty in terms of what they wear to mass. When they get dressed up for mass, they obviously are showing like when a guy walks in with a suit on, some slacks and a button-up shirt and a tie or something to mass, it shows, okay, he's utilizing his fashion. He's communicating that where he is and what he's doing is extra special. It's just extra special. It's not your everyday backyard barbecue.
Yeah.
If he shows up in a three-piece suit to a barbecue, I'll be like, where are you going? Because you're not here. Like, you're not supposed to be here in that outfit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's like showing
But
up
when
to mass with like cargo shorts and a Peyton Manning football jersey.
right, like, I think you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Like, you're welcome here, but I don't think you want to be. It doesn't seem like you want to be here.
Yeah.
I think it's confusing, right? Because it doesn't match.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something really beautiful about that. I've always been drawn. I've always paid attention to men when they walk into church and they are wearing something appropriate to what's going on. And I think that's a beautiful way to showcase how you have taken fashion for a man, which would be different, right? In terms of how we dress for men and women with modesty, with fashion, to a higher level of that you really respect what's going on in that mass at church, right? So that's one way that you can practice modesty. Because again, modesty orders beauty, and the beauty of the mass and the beauty of the sacrament is so much that we show up in a place where our internal state and even our external state hopefully matches what is going on in some realm that we can as humans. So there's one thing. Also, in terms of your speech, men, how you speak, not just to us, but trust me, we listen. We know what you're saying. Like, we overhear the conversations, even though we act like we're not listening. How you speak about others, the type of humor that you have or the jokes you use, how often you curse, what types of curse words you is, and for what reason. There might be something justified that you say that has some type of passionate moment. I don't know. But then there's other times when you're like, is that needed? Did you really need to say that like that? we hear that. It affects us and we listen to it. And so I would say you can have modesty over your speech, how you speak in general about almost anything. It really matters. And then how you speak about women, how you speak about other women, how you speak about your mother matters a lot. And so we want to hear that. There's something so beautiful when you have a man who speaks highly and respectfully about his wife. And I tell Ricky all the time, I'm like, you need to be friends with him because that's a good man. That's a good man who is not just saying it so his wife can hear it. He's saying it because he truly is respectful of his wife and speaks so well of her. And there's something beautiful about the modesty of that. And so I think that is something to pay attention to, men, is how you speak about women, and in what way. And then some other things that we've mentioned before too is the parts that will not be seen, right? So we've talked a lot about like our interactions with others, but when you're alone, when no one's there to catch you or to watch you, how do you govern your thoughts? How do you govern what you take into the world from outside sources? So what accounts do you follow on social media? Are they lifting you up? Are they breathing life into your life? Or are they bringing you down to the level of trying to bring you to this caveman level where all you're going to do is think about your passions and conquering them or diving into them, whichever it be. So pay attention to the voices you have in your head, and the voices that you allow into your life. And then, of course, with pornography, I mean, porn is so prevalent everywhere and affects men and women for sure. But when we're talking about men, it might not be a straight like pornographic content that we see on social, for instance, or something. But there are some things that just border it so well. And so I think how you can practice modesty is to cut it out. Don't know yourself well enough to know your triggers, to know your weaknesses, and then create defense around that. Yeah, and then accountability.
I remember hearing one saint saying that our senses are like 5 portals of entry to a castle, like a fortress, and that so much of what we let into the soul, it all comes in through those senses, especially the sight and the hearing. And so what are we listening to on the music? What are we watching on social media? We're feeding our souls, and so much of this can stir up our lower appetites. And our intellect and will should govern those lower appetites, but when they're fueling them with like lighter fluid, we're just making it harder than we need to make it. And I like what you say too about modesty with the men at church. To me, it almost sets the tone for the entire parish of how the men dress. Because I think if the men aren't dressed in a respectable, sophisticated way, that something serious is going on here in the liturgy. Like, this is grave, this is important. Everybody else, I think, would just feel overdressed if the guys are showing up, looking like they're heading off to a barbecue. I remember when I spoke down in Haiti years ago, walking to a parish in the morning, and all the villagers were coming out of their huts, going to the church. And I remember the men were in these pressed suits and ironed and ties, and I was so impressed because they didn't even have electricity. So I asked the host, how do they iron all these suits and stuff? And they said, oh, well, the village people, they get up early, they make a fire, they take the hot stones out of the fire, wrap them in a moist cloth, and then rub that on the cloth of the suits to make sure there's no wrinkles before they put on their suit for Mass that Sunday. And to me, it was like they're so wealthy in these poor countries, so wealthy in faith. Whereas here, we've got a material wealth, but spiritually, the poverty is pretty bad. And so, yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Men, let's step it up a notch when it comes to the Mass. Instead of just expecting the ladies to dress in their Sunday best, applies to us as well. You were saying?
Yeah, no, I just was cheerleading you on there. Yeah, absolutely. It is such an amazing experience when you can enter into a Mass, when you, your immediate family, or yourself and the community hopefully begins to step up their level of participation in the liturgy and just presenting themselves in such a way. And I mean, I love this has been something new for me too, to dress up a little bit more for Mass. I always did after my conversion to a certain degree, but now even more so. And when Ricky puts on his suit and we all go to Mass, it's an event, and it should be if we really know what's going on with the Eucharist. So anyways, I just wanted to cheerlead that thought. I absolutely love it. And I think, just to round out really quickly what we've been talking about in this particular piece, we should not forget that this is a battle, right? I mean, it says it in the catechism as the beginning part, as we're talking about purity and chastity and modesty. It's called the battle for purity, I believe, is the title of the catechism underneath this piece. It is a battle. This is a struggle. This is something that we battle against because of original sin, because of concupiscence, because of the world we live in, which is just attacking everything. But that does not mean that we can't fight. That doesn't mean that we're not that we have to just succumb to it. And so just to keep up with that.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that little clip, but if you want to see the whole episode where this came from, just click the link here. And in the meantime, we want to invite you to help us share this message, and there's a couple things you can do real quick. Number one, if you like or comment or share this video, YouTube will actually show it to more people. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. We release videos every single day, and you'll be notified as soon as those come out. If you want to help us also to spread this message, you can support us at patreon.com/Jason Evert. That helps us to create these videos and show them to the whole world. God bless.